So did you see the new Sonic movie?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I saw the what's today? Monday. Yesterday. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that
Um,
first.
yeah, sure. This is the most direct opening we've ever had.
Let's do
Just
it.
get to a topic.
See, this is what happens when I
Let's.
start an episode.
Well, okay. This is like what you're.
Your dog didn't like that. I
She's having
take it
a.
back. I'm sorry.
She's having a temper tantrum. Jesus Christ. She. Jeez.
Just before recording, there was a car outside my house honking for like 5 minutes straight, not even over exaggerating, just like constantly honking. No one turned it off.
Um.
So
So I saw it.
yeah.
That's sadly
As a
the
Sonic
first
fan, what do
movie.
you think? I've never been huge on the franchise.
It's fun. I just want to make a comment that this is like the 2020s, the new decade. This is the first movie from this decade I happen to watch. So
To
what a great way
start
to
off the
start it.
decade
It's
strong.
it wasn't like good, but it wasn't for a Sonic movie. I mean, it's everything it needed. It's not everything it needed to be because instead of like doing it properly, they just like tease that they're gonna do it
they
properly in a sequel.
they chose to do the Alvin and the Chipmunks and Smurfs approach by putting
Yeah.
unknown character in the real world and having them react to the real world instead of the
What's
Pokemon movie
enjoyable?
where you already are in this brand new world and getting immersed in that.
What people
Imagine they
like
put
about this
Pikachu in the real
character,
world for a movie. That's the first ever live action Pokemon movie. That would be so underwhelming.
I I think I hate. You know what? I think this is better than Detective Pikachu.
Fuck you. No, it
Um,
isn't at all.
it is. It
No, it
is
isn't.
because it's not an annoying Ryan Reynolds comedy. There's like it's not like the
That is your
Detective
own weird
Pikachu.
preference, my sir, my good
No,
sir.
it is not. I know a lot of people who are with me on that.
Why can't you
It's
get past
fucking
the voice
boring.
actor and just enjoy the movie for what it is?
No, because like the movie is Ryan Reynolds improvising jokes behind a microphone. It's not funny. I hated it. I like
He's
the aesthetic of it. I like the aesthetic of it more than what Sonic did. But the thing with Sonic though is I think most of the people that enjoy the character who are reasonable human beings or not and adults because I mean obviously children get a pass on liking the character, but it's just like he's kind of a people like the design, people like the artwork from the games, people like the music of the games. Most people acknowledge that there's only been a handful of good games, and but this is like they once they fixed that really terrible design, they kind
mm-hmm.
of delivered on that with this one.
I
There's a
still
lot of
respect him
like
for that greatly.
the design of him looks really great now. Some fans even prefer it to what he looks like in the modern games. Um, his expressions throughout the entire movie match the character perfectly. The personality of the character is very similar to the actual character, just they added a little bit of naiveness to him, which I actually like more than the cocky version of him.
Mm-hmm.
And they also they just have all these like funny these really enjoyable scenes to watch with time manipulation. Jim Carrey, I disagree, was great. A lot of people are saying, oh yeah, Jim Carrey really made it work, and I don't agree with that.
Really, I think he was the only enjoyable bit of the movie.
I don't think he was terrible, but I just like that's not like again like if you want to talk about an accurate representation, that is maybe in the sequel he'll be an accurate representation of the character, but that's not what the character's like. They're both like
I
Jim
wasn't looking
Carrey
for an
and
accurate representation of Robotnik. I was looking
yeah,
at Jim Carrey making this mad scientist, bad guy kind of character.
yeah. But I
Um,
wasn't. I didn't hate him though. I just wasn't like he tried. I can at least
yeah,
give
he
him
had a
that.
lot
He
of fun.
tried.
Clearly,
Yeah,
a few lines, a few deliveries were a bit weird, but overall, I think it was a very enjoyable act to watch. And
yeah.
yeah,
What I
um,
what I liked about it is one more thing, and then I'll just sum it up. What I liked about it is Sonic, and he's in most of the movie. He takes up most of the screen time. He looked great the entire time. It was fun to watch, but it is a very generic movie. The story literally looks like something that was written around the same time the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies were being made, or Hop, which literally has the same cop actor in it. And it's just like it looks like they're setting up a better sequel rather than actually trying with the first one.
mhm.
But I think it actually accomplishes. It's not like a joyless experience. Me and Stuart both liked it, but it's not. it's a lot of people are really praising it. Like they're making it seem like this is like the best.
Yeah,
thing.
before I saw the movie, people were like saying, "Oh my god, this is a really good movie," and the only person I heard that didn't like was Arlo, and
yeah,
and that was it. And then I went into the movie, and it was just what I expected from the very first trailer. It was the exact kind of movie I expected.
Yeah.
Are you done with your thoughts, by the way?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I liked it.
I thought it was a cute kids movie. Honestly, like it is what it is. It's I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. I took it for what it is. I still really hate the bringing a character into the real world and having them react to that sort of format for a film. I think they could have done a better job with that if they wanted to just have a whole CGI world, even if it's live action, sure, with all the other
2D
creatures
animation.
and something like, and I don't know, who was that bird character in the beginning and those guys with the spears?
She does not exist in the games.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm like, who is this?
Well, the guys with the spears were echidnas, and that's like Knuckles' species. So
and why don't
they do a sequel, he'll probably in it.
How come once that first scene closes, you never hear of them again, not even a little whisper?
Because it's not a well-written movie
do they have some big plan of crossing over dimensions and finding Sonic too? Why do they want to find Sonic? Well, I don't get it.
I think what would have worked best for him is just do a 2D movie. A lot of people when Detective Pikachu were coming out were saying, "Why not just make an animated movie?" And I was just thinking to myself, "Yeah, it's been done. You fucking idiot."
A lot of times.
I was happy for the. I appreciate what they pulled off of Detective Pikachu. I'm not a fan of it, but I think they pulled. I don't hate it, and I think they pulled a lot of things off well. The entire experience to me is ruined by the jokes. And then sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But with this is the first. They've been trying to make a Sonic movie forever. This is the first one. There's an OVA that's 54 minutes that people say, "Oh, that's the real movie." No, it's not. It's not a movie. It got released in America and they called it the Sonic movie, but it's not even an hour long.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, it's I get why make the first Sonic movie live action? Pokemon made sense. You have it going for all these years. Just let's try a live action one. That'd be cool. Everyone's thought about that idea at least once. Let's do it. For this, I guess 2D animation would have costed more. Probably that's probably the answer.
Anyway, so when the movie started, I really liked that first scene of Robotnik chasing him throughout the city. I was actually really hyped in the beginning of the movie because I don't know the
most cliche way you can open a movie.
No, well, not the cutaway thing. Hey, you wonder how I got not like that, but that whole action sequence. It was just hyping me up, and I thought the rest of the movie was gonna feel that exciting instead of just talking in modern households and in modern cars and whatnot, real world stuff, not an Avengers level threat kind of thing going on. It was also kind of cool seeing Jim Carrey in a role like this in a big CGI action movie. It was kind of eye twisting a bit. It's like a crossover event when you see two characters from two different shows standing side by side. It felt really cool, honestly.
I like when it comes to specific scenes. Sorry, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
I think I'm done. What were you gonna say?
I said there's I can recall some scenes that I thought were a lot of fun. I really like the scene where he plays baseball by himself again. Just the speed.
I didn't like it until I saw what it was leading toward. Because up to that point there was no plot yet. It was very slow beginning, and then now blackout happened. Okay, gotcha. Now we're finally gonna get Jim Carrey in the movie, and stuff is gonna happen. Cool. But
it's unintentionally hilarious how depressed he gets in the movie several times. It just randomly gets sad. The bar fight scene was a fun manipulation of time. The car chase scene, I like the character.
I feel like they did the time manipulation thing a little too often in the movie. I understand his whole thing is about super speed, but I just kept getting flashbacks of X-Men Days of Future Past. That one scene with Quicksilver in it. Have you ever seen that? I don't know.
Nope.
Okay. But it's just that slow mo scenes with the music going on in the background, and I don't know, just them fooling around with people and whatnot. It's it happened a few times in this movie. and it was just kind
Yeah,
of repetitive, in my opinion.
yeah. I understand if you don't have a connection to this character, why you wouldn't give a shit about anything happening. I just like I like looking at it. It was like appealing to watch. It's not shot well at all, but the visual effects team did a really awesome job, and then got punished by getting laid off right before Christmas. So kudos to Paramount.
I really
That's
liked
that might not even be Paramount's fault, but
I really liked I was walking out of the theater, or walking out of the theater, and halfway down, the end credits stop, and that Tails scene comes up, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. That's neat. I expected it, but it was really cool to see
yeah, but why not just make him in the movie to begin with?
because he's not really. It's not important to put him in there for the main film.
If they
It's
made
fine for
a
an after credit scene.
if they made a Mario Brothers movie and then they don't have Luigi in it and hint at Luigi in the sequel, how would you feel about that?
Wouldn't it still be Super Mario Brothers though? Why wouldn't he be in the first one as a main character? And if it's
Well,
a
let's just
Super
say it was
Mario
called
movie,
Super
fine.
Mario.
Like he's on the main film, fine. Put
You should
season.
have more than two characters of a series that you're represented. Is all I'm
First of all,
saying.
here's my argument for that because this is a very specific kind of argument. If you're comparing Sonic to Mario, the Mario games are usually called Super Mario Brothers, and Sonic the Hedgehog, the games are called Sonic the Hedgehog, not Sonic and Tails. Tails is like the sidekick character that he's just extra. You wouldn't expect him to be with Sonic, holding his hand throughout the movie. Luigi, you can kind of expect, but you can also wouldn't mind if it's just Mario. But you would still
That's just talking about the name.
still people would expect Mario with Luigi all the time. Sonic and Tails, not really. You're gonna have Tails as extra.
He's been in almost every game. The only argument I could make, someone could make that I could understand, is Tails isn't in the first game, so he isn't in the first movie. But still, it's not like this movie is like an adaptation of the first game.
Now here's what I'm wondering. See, in this universe, Sonic, as a baby, got teleported to Earth very young, so I doubt he had any friends except for his mom, Birdie Mom. So how does Tails know him?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's going to be a flashback scene where they were friends, but I doubt it.
And how did he get that device to travel dimensions? Whoa.
You know what I did? You know what I did find unironically fucking hilarious?
What?
When the one crazy guy in the town tries to draw what Sonic looks like, it's the Sonic meme.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I liked the little references whenever he said like I don't want to go to this mushroom plant. All I'm gonna talk to our mushrooms all the time. Who would want that? Like that rivaling with.
I don't think that's what that is. A lot of people think no. There's a mushroom level in the games.
But even still, it's like it's not exactly like the Mushroom Kingdom they're hinting at, but it's like a world talking with just mushrooms. Like I don't
know. They're kind of cool now, though. They're doing the Olympics together, Sonic and Smash Bros. I wouldn't be surprised if he ever gets in Mario Kart.
I'm surprised he isn't already.
Yeah,
although I'm sure that they just want him to not be in a cart. They just want him to run. Maybe they'd give him
Sonic has
shoes.
come of racing games.
But they
Sonic has Sonic
give him a new kind of mechanic or something. Switching out shoes and
Sonic has stolen a lot of things from Mario, including Mario Party and Mario Kart. Their Mario Party ripoff was not a success.
Mario Party ripoff. What Sonic Mario Party ripoff did they do?
There's a game called Sonic Shuffle, and it's like really fucking shitty. I think Game Grumps. Aaron did it with the Only Plays guys for a Grumpcade episode. And it was funny as hell. But yeah, it's a really, really, really bad version of Mario Party. I played it as a kid, and it wasn't good. And I was like pretty easy to impress as a child.
Did you think, by the way, going back to Tails in the movie, did you think when you saw that scene how he looked before the redesign? Like he probably looked a bit like Sonic, So with the teeth, like how did that look? I want to see it.
I think he would have looked really bad.
Also, is Tails a girl or a boy?
he's a boy, but his voice actor's been a girl for years, and they actually got his voice actor to voice him in the movie, while Sanic didn't get his voice actor. They got Ben Schwartz is his last name, I think.
Yeah.
Who's in Parks and Rec, and honestly, you know what? As annoying as he can be in certain things, I do really like him in BoJack, and he is, in my opinion, like way better than any of the previous voice actors for the character. I like the character, but I like the character being mute. He used to be mute, and then they started giving him voice, and I think they're all terrible. Even as a kid, I did not like them.
Who are you talking about right now, Tails or Sonic?
Sonic, because
Okay,
Sonic used to not he used to not speak at all, and now he's had like 3 different voice actors, I think, since it started, not counting like all the TV shows, but not counting Julia White, but all of them are bad.
You know what's funny? You said earlier that this is your first movie of the decade that you've seen. You want to hear something even sadder? What? So I saw this with my mom and a family friend of ours, technically my uncle, not blood related, but like an uncle, pretty much my mom's good friend. And he hasn't seen a movie, he hasn't been in the movie theater and saw a movie ever since the very first Mummy movie, which is, I think, is early 2000s, right? With Brendan Fraser. So, yeah, this was his comeback to the movie theater, this movie. Yeah, this is definitely not the type of movie for him, so it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
His reactions, but yeah. I think that trumps yours.
I thought it was fine. I gave it a 6 out of 10 because I did like it, but I will probably never watch it again.
Yeah, I'd say 5. Maybe that's because I don't have any connection to the character, but
I'm being a little biased. It's probably objectively not a 6, but
it would be a 4 if it didn't have Jim Carrey in it. In my opinion, I feel like I don't know. Made the performance fun.
Yeah,
I hated Agent Stone. He was so unnecessary. I knew from the first trailer he was going to be unnecessary, and like, it's just a stupid addition. Just keep Robotnik alone or something, ordering around grunts that don't have any lines. I'd be fine with that.
He is a sweetheart on Twitter, so I'll be happy that he got a job.
He's a sweetheart on Twitter? What?
Yeah. No, I followed a lot. He's just a nice guy, that's all. Okay. I saw his tweets. He's a nice person. Right. He was very nice to the fans, even the ones who were bitching. But yeah, I mean, like, if it weren't for the redesign, I think this would have been like a 1 out of 10. I think the aesthetic is very important, and that's what made it work. Is they made a appealing design that you get to watch throughout the whole movie, and if you're a fan of the character, you're going to be happy with that. Mm-hmm. He's a stupid fucking character. I think the only way you could make a great movie out of him is if you ripped off Into the Spider-Verse and included like all the different variations.
Just like a good first step is not putting him in the real world. First of all, just have him like he could interact with other humans, but a world that both animals and humans are just whenever an audience is introduced into a brand new world and not the real world, it's at least more interesting.
I would genuinely be okay with them ripping off Spider-Verse just because of how many different variations of the character there are. There's so fucking many.
Let's talk about something more original, all right?
There's so much meme potential.
Oh, that's so what matters. Okay, I see where you're going. All right. What else would happen?
You could include the original design and the redesign from this movie.
You'd have Sonic T-posing, just whenever he turns, he's just a flat image. He could hide like that. Oh,
there's that one that's been there's been like the new Sonic who's been appearing in memes a while back, where it was like a horrible 3D model of him running up and smacking something. Mm-hmm. That one could be in there.
Chris Chan can make a cameo.
Oh, Sonic Chew. Yeah, Sonic Chew could be in it. He could be voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
There should be a scene where it's like Endgame, where it's like a slow build-up and they come out of the portals. Yeah. And he'd be walking out. Chris Chan. You know?
Not Chris Chan, just Sonic Chew.
But he's played by Chris Chan.
He's played.
Are you saying he's embodied the role so much, like method acting, like he's practically Sonichu now?
Well, I was just saying, if you're going to do a Sonic verse, then like why would the creator of Sonic Shoe be there? Sonic Shoe should be
I'm
there.
talking like out of character, Mike. I'm not
Whatever.
literally saying Chris Chan walks out of the portal. It's like
You're explaining it
idiot.
poorly.
You're
Anyway. um.
you fucking idiot.
Next topic.
You fucking idiot. Let's go to the movie since we're pretty close, actually.
Can I just say one more thing? It's not related to what we were just talking about. I just wanted to acknowledge it. You won't have much to say about this at all, but BoJack ended. The final season came out. It was out in 2 parts, and like almost a whole month ago, the last 8 came out. It's been a while since we recorded, and it was stop it. Knock that off. Let me say this, all right? I've listened to you talk about Power Rangers, all right? You can give me
Am I
a second
saying
to talk
anything,
about this.
Mike?
You're being rude. You're clapping.
I have Tourette's.
That's distracting.
What are you talking
Fuck
about?
you. Actually go fuck yourself. All right. It was really good, and I know a lot of people who said they couldn't get into it, including Zach, but I thought it was outstanding. I will probably do a video on it.
Maybe someday I'll get back into it.
The last season, like, it was a really unexpected way to go for it, but it worked so well. But yeah, the second to last episode is one of the most disturbing, and also kind of, it still has a sense of humor, but like the second to last episode is like crazy what it takes on. And it does it very well. And then like the finale is just like a lot more laid back in comparison, but
is it just this big sci-fi adventure where aliens come to destroy the planet, and BoJack has to put on a spacesuit and become a superhero to save the day?
And then Mr. Peanut Butter says we're in the end game now. Anyways, discussion. All right.
So what movie?
Which one do you want to talk about first?
You want to talk about the Night movie?
All right, sure. I'll explain what it is.
Okay.
It comes at night. This is a movie.
Sure is.
It's basically just a movie about it's like post-apocalyptic, and it's not really like the backstory isn't really given that much, but you can get through context that it's a disease that ended humanity. And it's like it was almost like marketed, and this was a bad decision, as like a horror monster movie, which it isn't at all. It's mainly a movie about people and like a lack of trust in their paranoia and the awful things that they can do as a result. And it is a terrifying movie, in my opinion, but it's definitely more of a psychological horror than like there's actually like this physical thing that comes at night.
I wish we actually got to see what was out in the woods. I was very underwhelmed by that personally, and like I understand like some movies just don't want to explain too much of the backstory, but at the same time, we know there's not going to be a sequel or a prequel or anything to this. This is its own standalone thing. I would like more information about this world, but it's whatever.
It's just not the point, though.
Yeah, I know, but it takes you a while to get into it then. But I hate how movies kill off dogs. I won't stand for it at all. I hate it. I knew it was coming, and it was like, okay, great, cool, thanks. Respect for you to do that. Even though it's fake, but still, I just don't like it at all. It's a big turnoff for me when movies do that. They shouldn't do that.
Well, what's your opinion on the movie as a whole? Like, just overall,
it was very sad.
You get anything out of it?
It took me a while to get really into it. Like, as soon as the dad and the one guy started to go out on their own, after that, I started to get interested in the movie, and then the families formed, and it was like, okay, this is new now. I didn't like the 3 people family thing that I thought I was going to get throughout the movie. I thought that was going to get boring after a while. Getting new people and having them get to know each other and whatnot. I think that's
it doesn't take too long.
Yeah, it's more interesting to watch, and
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's where like the paranoia comes from, because obviously these 2 families they're not gonna turn on their own family members. That's all they got. But these are people who come in that they would like a good relationship with. They would like for things to go well, but there is no way in hell that there's gonna be like trust amongst them.
And you can see what was gonna happen pretty early on. Like someone's gonna get infected, and then oh, we gotta kill them, but no, wait, they're our family, and we can't do that. And it's like you can kind of see, but it's still entertaining. What was I gonna say? At the end, the wife screaming as her kid gets shot. I mean, that whole ending is incredibly sad.
Yeah, it's very very horrifying.
The older son, though, of the main group, the main family dying was a bit too quick in my opinion. Then the movie just kind of ended. But yeah, because like they hype it up with like, oh, he's gonna turn, maybe infect them too, and then he just kind of dies, or they don't even show him dying really. I don't know. You just kind of just see him go to sleep, and then stare at a kitchen table, and they're probably diseased too because they didn't wear the masks in front of the kids, so they're gonna die too. It was all for nothing. But yeah, I don't know. It was a fine movie. It's not my kind of film, but I still enjoyed it. It took me a while to get interested in it, but once I did, it was yeah. There was just some things I didn't like. Again, the dog thing was stupid. Not showing or not telling too much of the world kind of bugged me throughout most of the movie. It was like you just kind of wait for more information, and it's just kind of vague disease apocalypse world kind of scenario that you've seen a million times. And you know, I like more information with those types of worlds. Because there's been so many types of stories with that, you know, and I would have liked more. But yeah, it was still fine. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I got okay, so I recommended this one, and honestly, it was kind of just like a lack of remembering to pick a movie for you to watch. Because what happened is I saw this movie back in 2017 in theaters, the only one in that damn room, and I watched it and I really enjoyed it. And the ending obviously stuck with me more than anything else because it's just like it's like a really fucking shitty thing to happen. Mm-hmm. And it's just like this. It's just so much dread. And then I rewatched.
It's honestly pretty realistic of like what they would do from each family, what they would actually do. Like I don't think any sane family would have let them go. As sad as that is, I mean, you're gonna be traumatized either way. At the end of the day, you're not gonna like what you're gonna do, but you're gonna do it. If you're in that situation, for sure, that's gonna happen. It's just kind of sad.
No, for sure. I watched it in theaters though, and I really liked it. And I think in my 2017 list video, which was literally, to be fair, I only saw like 17 movies that year. I had no right making a fucking list video, but I ranked it as my second favorite movie of 2017, with 3 Billboards being first. But then I'm losing my. I gotta move my mouse. There we go. Okay. But then I rewatched it like a few weeks ago. Then I recommended it to you pretty much like a day or two after rewatching it. And it just like, I realized how much I loved it when I saw it a second time, because it was just so, even though I knew all like the crazy stuff that was going to happen, just the tension and the build up, there's like so much that you appreciate more once you know what it's all leading to. And it's just like everything leading up to it is so anxiety driven, so like just the constant tension throughout the movie. And when you watch it the first time, you know it's going to end with something horrible happening. It's just the vibe it gives you. This is not going to be a happy movie. It lets you know that with the opening scene where they're basically killing their grandpa because they have to. Oh boy. They're here to get you, Zach.
Oh, God.
They've come for
That's
you.
how the doorbell works. It's right outside my own door, not the house door. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they could come into your room. But
I'm
anyway.
making a joke there. I wasn't actually... Okay.
Yeah, but I'm explaining why your joke didn't make sense. Anyway.
It's like a...
Anyway.
It's so literal.
But yeah, no, I just love what this movie makes me feel when watching. It's not necessarily an emotion that you want to feel, but I like movies that can make me anxious or upset. It's kind of like looking at horrifying shit on the internet right before going to bed. It's just you live for those feelings sometimes. I do it all the time. I don't know what to tell you.
I want to be calm right before I go to sleep. I don't want to like think about some really dark stuff.
Well,
I want to laugh at something.
I always regret it, but I do it all the time.
Jesus.
I want to feel something, damn it.
Fucked up. How do you go to sleep? How do you get enough sleep?
It's so fucking common for people to watch horror movies at night or look up scary stuff on the internet at night. That's just like
That's a weird thing to be common. I don't understand that world at all. It's
it's
weird.
enjoyable.
That's so weird.
It's just interesting. I like interesting shit, and some of the most interesting shit is the most horrifying shit. Some of my favorite movies from this year are fucking terrifying. Like I think my second favorite movie, I guess I'll spoil something that's going to be in my video. I think it's third place for me, is the movie Midsummer, which in my opinion was a fucking horrifying movie. But anyway, yeah, no, I really love It Comes at Night. I don't really have any major critiques of it. I kind of hear what you're saying with like the son near the end when hit with him getting sick. Maybe they could have had a couple more scenes to like show the family is like coming to term with what they just did to that kid and that family.
And it also kind of falls down like that show don't tell kind of theory, right? Where instead of just putting him to sleep, show him dying at least. If you're hyping this up, you're foreshadowing it. At least, like we know he's going to, but like just having it kind of off camera, kind of underwhelming in my opinion.
I think they do a good job with show don't tell throughout the entire movie.
At least they showed him with the stuff on his skin, but like
it wasn't a long movie. Maybe they could have had extra 10 minutes. I don't know, but yeah, I love this movie. 6
out of 10,
and I give it a 9 out of 10. All right. So next up we have Jersey Boys. Zachary, you want to explain what this movie is?
So Jersey Boys is based on the play, which I saw recently for the first time, and I've wanted to see this play for years. I saw the movie first years ago, and I didn't know much about the bands and anything, and I saw the movie. It's based on by the way, a band. The play is based on a band called the Four Seasons back in like the 50s or 60s, with Frankie Valli at the center, and the movie is based on the story that these guys went through forming the band and all the drama that happened after they formed and what was going on with some of the members. And yeah, I personally really enjoyed this film, the story, and this music for sure. It got me introduced into the band. And I remember even after watching the movie for the first time, just listening to the soundtrack of both the movie and the play constantly, and then I had like this delay until I saw the play again, and then I started listening to the music again even recently. So I don't know about you, but maybe you're listening to the music now as well. A lot of songs are pretty catchy.
I'm super familiar with a lot of the music already. Yeah. I do not like the songs, and he doesn't do this in every single song. Wait, no. Let me finish. I do not like the songs, and he doesn't do this in every single one, where Frankie sings in a really, really, really fucking high voice. That is not something I enjoy. I'm not saying it doesn't like require amazing talent.
That was like that band's voice, you know. That was.
He was great, but he doesn't sing in a really like even Sherry Baby. They're not singing too high for me, but there's some where he's just like. It's like almost ear piercing for me. I really don't. Really? I don't get in. I don't like that. I don't like when. It's just
it's
I think it's a personal thing.
It's hard to do.
It is. It does seem like it's very hard to do, and I'm not saying it doesn't. I think it's a personal preference thing, not really an actual critique. I don't like that type of music, though. I like a lot of the songs, though. I like. There were a lot that I enjoyed. I was disappointed that Fallen Angel wasn't in there because I have that history from the show, from watching fucking stupid Mario Bros. And I found out once it ended, I was like, oh, is this only in the Broadway? Is
maybe it is. I think it is.
It was not in the movie.
Yeah, I liked some after seeing the play. By the way, there's stuff. It makes me kind of enjoy the movie more because, like, as much as I enjoyed the play. I think the movie's a way better version of the play. Because, like, for example, the daughter, all the stuff that she went through with the drugs and the boyfriend and whatnot, it was only shown a little bit in the play and not as explored. And I really appreciate the movie for doing that. And yeah, just a bunch of stuff that went on in the movie I feel like made the story better to watch.
I felt like they actually didn't focus on that much at all. And I felt like it kind of worked because the whole point is that he's like completely separated from his family. You don't know much about the daughter because he doesn't know much about the daughter.
Well,
but
still, you gotta keep in mind it's based on a true story too, and like just
I
seeing,
know. Yeah.
just having his kid die on him. I mean, just telling that story alone. I mean, that's so
I
heartbreaking.
know.
Knowing that actually happened, and like all the things
Hmm.
that she could have done, like that's so sad.
Yeah, but you can't use it's a true story to justify it. There was a Sharon Tate movie that wasn't the Quentin Tarantino movie that came out this year, and it was actually like completely relying on it being a true story to
It's not
gather
that kind of movie
sympathy.
though, Jersey Boys, in my opinion.
It's not. It's not. I'm just saying it's
It's
not an
for our
excuse.
moms, but it's still like if you if you're like me that is at the age I'm at now and I still really enjoy this band, even though it's for your moms, you know. It's
Yeah.
just yeah.
Well, let me summarize what I think of the movie. I wasn't. It took me probably like an hour to get into it. Maybe like 30, 40 minutes. But I did eventually get really into it. And one of my favorite things about it was just how dysfunctional of a member that Tommy was. I thought their disputes like went from like he's a good friend, but he's kind of got like this personality thing to him just being an absolute piece of shit in
Mm-hmm.
every single scene he was in. And I loved that. I loved that dynamic. I thought it was both funny and also kind of heartbreaking once you make it to this big fallout scene. And then once he leaves with that guy, you don't ever see him again until he's an old man. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like crazy. Um, I like.
He was a very messed up dude mentally
Yeah,
when he was younger.
yeah, he was.
It's so sad that like he was the cause of like all that drama. He did
Yeah,
stupid stuff like peeing in the sink. Like that's so weird and
yeah.
using all the towels. I would be pissed. Dude needed
Yeah,
therapy long ago.
I've pissed in a sink before. I was
Okay,
drunk, but I pissed in a sink before.
great. Thank you for telling me that.
I'm not
Did you think
alone
it
on
was
that
cool
too.
knowing Joe Pesci kind of helped get the songwriter into the band to really make the band what it is? Without Joe Pesci, we
Joe,
wouldn't have the play, we wouldn't have the movie.
wait, Joe Pesci helped with that?
He was their friend back in the day. The guy at the bowling alley, Tommy even says like, "Hey, that guy, yeah, Joe Pesci, the actor. Who knew, right?" It's even in the play too.
At the very end, he mentions Joe Pesci, but Joe
Or
Pesci wasn't in the movie.
there was a kid who played a younger version of Joe Pesci who worked at the bowling alley
Okay.
playing the pins in. And then Tommy looks
Okay.
at the camera and he talks about Joe Pesci. Like, yeah,
Was
the
this the
actor.
very beginning of the movie?
Somewhere near the beginning, I think.
I don't remember that part. I remember him mentioning Joe Pesci at the end when they're all on the stage and all four of them look at the camera and say something.
Hmm.
Okay,
But
let me
yeah, the
summarize my
childhood friends.
thoughts. Let me summarize my thoughts on it. So the music is it depends. I think the music is very valid. I think I understand the appeal of it, and I like a lot of the songs. There are some where it's just again, it's just the high singing. It does not it's not a critique as much as it is just me stating my personal preference because you're
And to
right,
be
it
fair,
is.
too, these are cover songs as well. There's also like the stage version. There's like multiple different
Yeah, I
stage
know.
versions because of
I
different
know.
actors. There's the official versions, whatnot.
Yeah, it's good. It's good in my opinion. It's good music. It's just not like really my thing. But there's some,
Hmm.
even with that, there's some songs I'm like, yeah, I like. I might listen to this afterwards.
What do you think of their
I like
choreography? It's just like so classic, very
the
Broadway.
dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
all the
It
choreography,
was
very
fun.
simple but like very
Did you know that?
strict.
Did you know Clint Eastwood directed it?
Mm-hmm.
I saw. I didn't notice that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that until the credits. For me, I gotta say, I think the directing is one of the weakest parts of it because it is like not shot poorly by any means, but it is also like really bland looking the entire
mm.
movie. Like the color palette, the shots, like a lot of it's just a still camera cutting back and forth to like different shots of the characters and not doing anything fun with it at all. The most imaginative scene in the entire movie is the credit sequence, which I liked, which
Credits.
was good because it's like just them on the street singing
Mm.
"Sherry Baby," then like all the other characters in the
Oh,
movie.
what a night! Yeah.
Yeah, oh what a night! I do like that song. That
Mm.
song I actually really like.
I think in
But
the movie
fucking
version.
Richie sung so many of these in his
Oh
videos.
yeah,
"Sherry
yeah.
Baby" and "Oh What a Night" were
There
also in Rich
was
Alvar's
there was
videos.
one song that was in the background. I think of the first episode of Stupid Mario Brothers, begging, but I don't think it was in the movie. You know, begging, begging for you, put another hand out,
Yeah,
baby. You know that they
there
did
were a
that
lot
song
of
too.
songs.
There's a lot of songs
I'm
that like I
starting to.
didn't even think before seeing the
I
movie
got a
that this
ticket.
one band did. Then realizing all these songs come from one band. It's
You know,
incredible.
I gotta take it back a little bit because I'm thinking about more of the songs as we talk about this. Some of them are coming back to my head.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be like just half and half. Like some of them I was really in. I actually think there was like half of them that I really liked, and then half of them where it was just like, yeah, this one's not for me. But I mean, half of the songs in the movie, with how many there are, is bad.
I
I
Walk
like
Like a
the
Man. That's a cool one.
yeah. Yeah, I like the performances. I like the sense of humor. I think that the wife, Frankie's wife, is a terrible actor. She is awful. The daughter isn't amazing, but she's
Oh,
serviceable.
did you also know that the actors who played the four seasons, the main characters, were all actors from different Jersey Boys plays, like they're actual Broadway actors,
Oh,
like
that's
play
cool.
actors. They're not even movie actors. They just brought the people that knew the characters the most and got the
Yeah, that's
best
good.
ones who played the parts.
They did a good job. They did a good job. Christopher Walken was just Christopher Walken,
Yeah.
but he didn't do a bad job. Like he was
I
fine.
saw the play version
He's
and like
likable enough.
you can see like they could have gone a more intimidating actor.
Yeah,
Christopher Walken just plays him. Uh,
he
and
plays a likable enough person who's Christopher Walken.
yeah. But the whole point of the
um,
character is to be this very intimidating mob boss kind of guy.
I didn't get too much out of the flamboyant character, but I didn't dislike him either. The one who works
He
in
was
the
funny in the
record
play version. There
studio.
was this younger guy who played him, and like
Yeah,
he's
he
just
wasn't bad in the movie.
in the play. There's like they don't they don't have any censor or anything. They say the word fuck a lot, and like the one gay guy, he's just like screaming in this one scene, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're all gonna say what the I don't know, just something. It's just really
Mm-hmm.
fucking good. He just
Then
flailing about.
then who else was there? I was gonna name someone else. I don't know. Oh yeah, that one girl, that one reporter girl that Frankie hooks up with.
Mm-hmm.
She's barely in it, and then the scene where she leaves him, they treat it like she was a character of significance, and she wasn't. She was barely in the fucking movie, and I thought that was weird. I think that the movie was like when I was like an hour into, I was almost a whole hour into it, and I was starting to like it, but I was thinking, yeah, this is gonna be like a 4 or 5 out of 10. This is not that enjoyable to me at all.
I think with
But
the
then,
news reporter, like her character was in the play, but like it
mm-hmm.
definitely could have been something to be taken out.
But as I kept watching it, it was just like I started to see like the quality started to shine through a lot more. And I understand why you like it so much, and I understand why so many other people like it so much, and I like it. I think it's a good movie. I don't
I don't
know
look at it for
if
like the
I would
technical
watch.
value. I look at it from like, oh, this stuff
Well, it's
really
not just the
happened.
technical. It's not just the technical value. You know,
Mm.
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to appreciate about a movie, and Jersey Boys does some of it very well. But it also does some of it kind of like blandly. And I mean, yeah, that's always going to be a thing when I look at movies. And if it isn't for you, awesome. I'm not saying that you should look at like every little detail. I think that I think it's good though. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd watch it again. Maybe I would, but I probably will listen to some of the songs. And I did enjoy it. I liked it. So thanks, Zach. It was a good recommendation.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame it's not on Broadway anymore. Like they still tour every now and then. Like again, they came to my
Yeah.
town and they performed
Mm-hmm.
with a pretty okay
Yeah.
cast, honestly. The guy who played
You know,
the guy who played the deep voiced guy in the group in the play version was like the worst. He was so bad. The scene when he's like exploding at Tommy in the one in
yeah.
the movie, like this guy in the play, he like barely like I don't know, he like delivered them all wrong, all the lines wrong. Bad.
I like that. I love
I
that
love
scene where
that
it just
scene. He did it
flips
so
out.
well in the movie, and just
Yeah.
to see that
Yeah.
in the play version, so underwhelming from a really bad actor. Like,
What was it? I love how freaking all these movies that have like people from the mob in them, like The Irishman, The Jersey Boys, they always have references to Frank Sinatra. Yeah, Frank Sinatra always has to have a little tiny part in a fucking movie about the mob or a movie that involves the mob. Because he had some involvement in that shit. But yeah, like yeah, good movie. I enjoyed it. And I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
I give it a 7.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we definitely haven't reached a whole hour yet, so we could talk
No,
about
we
something
have
else.
like 15 minutes about.
Yeah. Let me pull up random question generator.
Okay.
Maybe we'll get a
We
good
actually have
one.
time for it this time. Wow.
Yeah. Um.
Hopefully, Fancy Son doesn't come by. That would be bad.
I don't. I don't know if I have a. I don't know if I have that in me right now. Maybe. Maybe that should happen. All right. Let's see. When was the last time you really panicked?
I
Last night.
panic rarely, but like when I panic, it's bad.
I panic all the time. I have like pretty. It's not like this is not even a joke. I have pretty consistent panic attacks. It's not good, but I'm getting better. It used to be several times a day. Now it's like several times a week, and sometimes not even. But I can get very panicky.
I remember the most recent thing I can remember was a few years ago when my laptop started to get like a blue screen. I had to get this laptop that I got now at Best Buy. And I was freaking out, like, how am I going to back up all this data that I already have, which I managed to do, but, like, it was so stressful, because, like, it just happens out of nowhere. You have no way to know that your computer's just going to die on you. You're not even going to be able to go into it. And, yeah.
I mean, we were
Oh, and the flash
literally.
drive thing happened, too. But I got
Oh
that
yeah,
fixed. But I had to pay,
yeah.
like, a lot to get it fixed.
I just kind of panic randomly. It does happen for no reason. Um, I, uh, I mean, I've talked about how big of an issue anxiety is for me, probably on the show, and off the show. But yeah, it's really bad sometimes, and it's funny because early it kind of shows with you saying like me saying shit like I intentionally watch stuff that horrifies me, but it's not like that. I don't think that plays a big factor, honestly. I
You
think
don't?
I really don't because I know
It
shit
doesn't
like that
make you an
isn't.
anxious person?
I don't. I think if anything, it's just like I don't know.
It could
I
encourage it. That's a sign, maybe.
I don't know, man. Because if I try to watch stuff to like calm myself down, often that just makes me panic more. Sometimes the only way to like get through a panic attack for me is just to let myself feel the panic, and then as I no, like no, I'm being serious.
I
There's
know
like
you are.
literally,
I'm sorry.
well, there's literally therapists. I mean, there are people, um, and like with psychology, like I'll watch the fucking YouTube videos, which isn't the best source. Obviously, speaking to a doctor would be better, but I have spoken to a doctor as well.
Hmm.
But they literally like I watched this video like I was having a horrible panic attack when I would not stop. So I was like, okay, I gotta fucking watch something on YouTube and like just see. Like I just typed in "I'm having a panic attack" on YouTube, and there's this video of this guy speaking, and it's like 20 minutes, and he has this very calm voice, and he's just talking to you. And I'm not saying this is like something that works every single time, and obviously if you have a valid
Well, it's a
reason to be,
mental thing. You gotta get your
yeah,
emotions in check, and just mirroring off someone else can help.
if you have a valid reason to panic, this will probably not help you. If you're panicking for like almost no reason, or for like a stupid reason, I don't want to say stupid reason, but like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like it's an irrational fear that you're having. It's not you're afraid of something that isn't real. Then this is someone that can kind of put you back in reality. And like his advice was, and he's talking to you very calmly throughout the video, and that helps too. But he's also just saying that you like the number one thing that people try to do when they're panicking is to distract themselves from it, to do anything but think about what's making them so nervous. And all that does is sets their mind in like just a frenzy where you're just constantly trying to put your mind somewhere else, and you're
Hmm.
failing the entire time, and it just makes things worse. And then but if you just kind of allow yourself to feel the panic, you'll start to slowly feel it slowly go away.
I feel like that's a very strong thing to do when having a panic attack. Like, type that into YouTube and find a video like that. Because like now a lot of time you can have someone by your side to like calm you down right then and
Yeah.
there, and just to get that strength to just take that initiative and try to help yourself. Feel like
Yeah.
it's very healthy. Um,
Yeah, it's good. It's good to just also have people you can talk about it with, and you don't want to like you don't. I have friends who also have like extreme anxiety or like depressed. I don't think I would consider myself someone depressed. I think I've felt depressed before, but I don't. The way people explain depression is that it's like a life sentence, and that you can't. It takes like actually taking like some sort of medication to feel okay again. And I don't think it's ever been that bad for me, like not even close to that bad before. But the anxiety is like a daily thing now, and it's not so bad that I can't live my life. I've been like fairly so far. 2020 has been a good year for me. I've been fairly happy. But it's good to. I'm just rambling now. It's good to like have people you can talk to. I think it's bad to like and this might be something that someone would disagree with, but I think it's bad to bug them about it too often. I think that it's good to have more than one person you can talk to, because you don't want your own happiness and your own comfort to be like relying on one person
mm-hmm.
that you can message every time, because that's not going to be good for their mental health. And I have done that before, and people have done that to me before, and it's not good, because when people do that to me, it does nothing but like make me exactly in their situation.
I had
Or
that in high school. I had a friend that always told me about stuff that's going on with them. And it's like, of course, I'm a listener. I'm a big listener. I've got like the big ears for it too. But like they would just tell me things over and over, months at a time, years at a time, and I don't know. I just
it's
over
not
time separated from them because
it's
it's
not
like they're a good
good.
person, but it's just too much. It's too much.
It's not good to make someone else feel like they're responsible for you.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, it's good to have friends that you can talk about it. I'm not saying like it should be like you only talk to this person once a month. And then there's some people who say, okay, here's a guy, like I've seen this on Twitter. Here's a guideline, things you need to do when you want to talk to me about something like serious or personal. And it's just like this long list of like, okay, you have to message me if I'm okay to talk about this right now, or you have to message me if it's anything triggering. It's just like this huge list. And I'm like, that's not a good friendship. That's taking it too far. But you should be able to like get together with other friends who know what it's like and know what you're going through. Because if you talk to someone who isn't experiencing it, they're just going to tell you to just not worry.
Yeah, it's gonna be this ego boost for them. It's all about
Yeah,
them.
and I don't think they come from I don't think they
Yeah,
come
they
from
don't
a
come from a
malicious
bad place.
place.
Everyone thinks that they're doing the right thing, but it's not going to
Yeah,
help the other person.
yeah.
It's, yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's good to find people to talk to, but it's also good to realize that you have to take responsibility for dealing with your own stress. I think that a lot of the people who I talk to who have a very hard time with it, I include myself in this, honestly, is just like if it's really never getting any better, you do probably need to speak to either a doctor or a therapist. I spoke to my doctor, and she told me like therapy would be a good thing to do. I still haven't done that, and I probably should have, but it has gotten a little better. But if it gets really bad again, I think I'm just finally going to do that. She
What
also
about
said that
medication?
she did offer me medication, and I'm considering it. But I also want to. I've been getting good at controlling it myself, but I also know that like seeking professional help is not a bad thing to do. Really, it's just like, since it's like this might sound a little stupid, but I think a lot of anxiety comes from difference, from change, adding something new to your schedule. When I started doing my internship recently. Haven't even mentioned that yet. I think last DuckCast I hadn't started it yet, or maybe I just started it. But when I was starting the internship, I was panicking about it for like almost no reason. Like everyone I've spoken to was super nice. It's going to be good for me. I'm finally getting into the field, but I was still panicking about it. And then a week goes by, and now it's like normal for me. I think therapy is like that too. It's like I have to accept this new thing that has to become part of my schedule. And I don't want to add something to my schedule. But the only way I would ever become comfortable with it is if I was doing it consistently.
With
And it
like
became.
with like medication, you can take whatever's comfortable for you. Like for me, there's this pill that I've been taking that's supposed to help me become hungrier more often. And apparently my doctor during the second visit right after, he said something about it like it also decreases depression a bit too. And I kind of noticed a bit of like, a bit of a happier attitude
Mm-hmm.
at some point. I'm like, oh, that explains it. So I don't know. It helps. It's like you don't even notice it. It just kind of happens, and your mind is more
Yeah.
clear, and you're just kind of more positive.
Yeah. I'm someone who, and this might sound fucked up, but I'm almost someone who likes feeling sad sometimes. I like watching stuff that makes me sad. I like watching stuff that makes me scared. I like watching stuff that like makes you feel negative emotions just because I don't know. I like art. I like feeling stuff like that. But I don't want to be in that state constantly. So yeah, maybe that has a huge part. It has a lot to do
See, for
with
me,
my
I
anxiety.
can't watch stuff like that all the time unless if I'm like really in the mind space. Otherwise, I'm gonna get a really big
Mm-hmm.
headache because I'm just using my brain too much. I just want something a bit easier to digest. And
But most
yeah, depends on the
well,
time
yeah,
or the mood.
most of my anxiety comes from stuff in real life though. Like I almost got into a car wreck a few months back, and I didn't, but it was a really close call, and it would have been my fault if it happened, because I did something. I did something. I made a mistake, and it probably wouldn't have been like a fatal car accident or anything like that, but it wouldn't have been good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just terrified of driving home for like a whole month. Like I was just it freaked me the fuck out, and I would literally spend a day at school because I was still in school at the time, being afraid to merge onto the highway because that's where it happened. I merged onto the highway and like just timed it badly.
Mm-hmm.
So I was that asshole. um,
Have you ever
so I became a
tried, if you're able to in the moment, like coach yourself, like you know, stop being a pussy bitch. Like you can do it. I know you can.
mhm.
Just focus on this. You got this. All right. You're one
I
step at a
have.
time. You turned. All right. You made it. Stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I do that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's not a problem for me at all. Immersion is like the easiest. Like the thing is, I started driving. Immersion was intimidating, and then I did it for years, and it was the easiest fucking thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a hard thing to do at all. You just need to pay attention for a couple fucking seconds, and then you can go on cruise control for the rest of the highway. But I mean, you should still pay attention at all times. But
Yeah.
but you can take it easier once you're
Mm-hmm.
on the highway. Um, but then just one day, yeah, one bad interaction led to me being nervous about doing it for a long time. And it was also nighttime, and there was also all these lights glaring at me from like headlights, and I blamed it on that. And I literally went and got my eyes checked, and I actually do need glasses for driving at night. Is what the
Do or
conclusion.
still wait? You still need?
Just for driving at night, I don't wear the glasses
No, I
for
mean
literally
still need.
anything
Like you still
else.
need to get them.
No, I have them. I wore them on
Okay.
DuckCast.
I thought you meant because you talked about that a while ago, and I'm like, you still haven't gotten them yet.
I wore them on the Gage episode just as a joke,
Right.
just like, hey, I'm a glasses guy now, but
Fucking nerd.
I literally don't need them at all just for driving at night. And now it's like by the time I leave my internship, it's still daytime out, so I don't need them for a whole year.
That's good that you don't have to spend the day or most of the
I don't even
day
wear
outside anymore.
I don't even wear them because like I work a lot of concerts at my internship, and I always leave late, so I don't even wear. There's not a lot like headlights on the road when I leave, like because I'll leave the concerts at like 12 a.m. or
Mm-hmm.
like somewhere between 10 and 12, and there's not a lot of cars in the highway, so there's not a lot of lights gleaming at me, beaming at whatever. I don't even know if what I
What's it
just said was.
like? What's it like for your internship? Being at all those concerts, like, is it good music?
Yeah, it's good music.
You don't have to
It can
go into
be
detail what you do, just like how the experience is.
it can be enjoyable. It can be unenjoyable. 4 shows so far. Most of the internship involves like sitting in an office and editing and going to meetings, and I enjoy all that too. I'm even going to the college a lot because where I'm working in the college are trying to do stuff together. But but the concerts I've done the first one was very enjoyable up until the last 4 hours because I had nothing to do but stand for 4 hours, and I did not like that.
Hmm.
And it was really terrible. And the band was good, but it wasn't my type of music either. So I wasn't really. I was also standing right next to a speaker, which was annoying.
Isn't
The
it?
second,
Could it possibly be like exhausting going to that many concerts that often, and with all the bass going on, the loud stuff
it
going in your
depends.
ears? Oh,
It
maybe that's just
depends.
me being autistic and like loud sounds hurt after a while or something.
They do. No, they do.
Yeah.
The second one was a music event with local bands, and that one was a lot of fun. My entire thing, great experience. The third show I quote unquote did. I'm like I do a lot of photography and video for the shows, and I'll also help with setting up if they need it, which
Yeah.
normally they don't. But they'll give me like little tasks to do. Like okay, it's like let the interns help. It's like we're special needs kids. No, but like, but but yeah, they the third show we did, it was a bigger profile band, and they rejected house photography. So we were there for 2 hours. Then me and the other intern got to go home, which I did not argue with. Still got a full day of hours, even though I only had to do 2 hours. That was nice.
How is it working with because I would assume you're not standing in one place, you're moving around trying to get decent shots and decent angles.
Yeah.
So like how is it working with the crowd if they're like really hyped up and energetic and pushing and shoving?
So there's two places that the shows happen at, and we only one of them is like this really nice hotel, and one of them is the actual theater. The nice hotel I've only been to once, and I'm only going to be at one more time because we only have one more show with them this year. The hotel's a little different. The theater, there's a photo pit, so
Gotcha.
it's out of the way.
Like
If
kerned off something area.
yeah,
Not kerned
yeah,
off, you know what I
and
mean.
if I'm standing all the way up, I could still be in people's way. So
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of get down to take photos and get up a little bit.
Yeah.
The hotel we played at, we did a show at. That one I was more so getting right in front of people, and the only thing I can say about that is I have a photo pass and I'm allowed to do that. I was a little nervous about doing it. I was even asking the other intern who's been working there, like literally, he's from the same school as me. He worked there a week before I did,
Mm-hmm.
so we're both getting a very similar experience here. But I was like telling him, yeah, like to the crowd this time. I have a zoom in lens. I might take pictures and video from the sides. And he said, well, I'm getting right in front of the stage because I'm allowed to do that. And he said, like when you get into like doing show photography, you kind of have to have like be a little bit more ballsy with it. And he said he's been doing it for a while, and no one's like kicked him out, and no one's been rude to him. So I just like, okay, I mean, I guess I'll be ballsy too then. And then I did it. And
I
it
mean,
was
you
fine.
said you're a tall guy, so you've got to be intimidating enough for most people to be like, all right, you
Yeah.
know what? I
At the end
enjoy
of the
show
day,
leaning over my shoulder, idiot.
another another thing is the 3-song rule. With most bands, we only do the first 3 songs and then we leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because bands like there's some bands where it's like heavy metal and they don't care if they're sweating on camera, but a lot of the bands, they want you to get their first 3 songs before they've been on stage for hours and they're sweating and they're like a little rougher.
I can understand that rule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and I like that rule because I don't have to like crunch over a stage and take photos for 3 hours. I get to do
Exactly.
I get to do it in the moment, get good photos, and I have enough by the end of 3 songs. Get some nice crowd shots. It's been fun. There is a lot of waiting every single day of the shows, and I don't like the waiting. I'm gonna start bringing my laptop with me to edit videos while I wait.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been enjoyable. I'm sorry I got so sidetracked there talking about that, but
No, that was
yeah,
a fun topic.
yeah. Okay, so I've been talking a lot about like anxiety and the internship. Anything you want to talk about before we close this episode?
No, I think we should just close the episode. Actually, we've talked about a
Well,
lot.
yeah, let's recommend some movies to each other real quick.
All right.
I think my next one, I want to talk about it so badly that I'm gonna rent it on the Duck Brigade for you if you have no other way of getting it, because I'll watch it on the Duck Brigade too.
All right.
Because I want to rewatch it.
Wait,
It is one of my favorite movies of all time. My favorite movie of 2017. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
3.
I think based on the movies that me and you have liked when doing the show, this is going to be one that you really love. I think that this is going to be up there with like The Departed and Pulp Fiction.
You said this is your favorite movie of 2017. You said earlier, right?
Yes.
So this should be.
And it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
3
It's such a great
Billboards
character
Outside
film.
what?
Ebbing, Missouri.
How do you spell that?
EBBING and then Missouri.
Missouri.
And also, I'm also probably going to buy it on the Duck Brigade and just because I want to watch it and you'll want to watch it. Let me see if it's. I seriously doubt it. Let me check if it's on any streaming devices. I literally got. What the fuck? That's weird.
What?
Literally. Oh man, I don't like this. 17 minutes ago, when we were talking about the anxiety topic, I get this message from a spammer. Diana, first of all, I guess I'm Diana now.
Oh, cool.
CBD is proven to reduce what is that? Wait, my pain and pain, anxiety, and stress. It is now legal in all 50 states. Get yours now. This fucking phone's listening to me, man. Right when we're talking about that, I get a not like a spam email, a spam text. Those I don't even get those too often about fucking CBD.
How offensive do you think it is to be called Diana and having everyone tell you that your name makes them think of anxiety? Like, that's what they must be thinking, right?
Well, I think that my caller.
She sounds like someone that would have anxiety, right?
I think that my phone's caller ID is calling me Diana for some reason. I think I have my temporary number still. I think I've had a temporary number for 3 years now. So that causes confusion. I'm probably a bad person for that. But now that's my phone number, so it's keeping it as my phone number. Oh, yeah, I wanted to check if 3 Billboards was available anywhere else other than rental.
So I'm going to recommend an episode of something, of a show that each episode is something completely different, and I think you know what it is.
Yeah, I do know. It's
Black Mirror.
Mirror.
So there's an episode in season 3 called "Shut Up and Dance" that I think you would enjoy.
Now these episodes are only like, how long is? Because you could recommend
52 minutes long.
Shut Up and Dance.
Yes.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite Black Mirror episodes.
Cool. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess if Hammer Boys counts as a recommendation, that should count as a recommendation.
Yeah, I've got some more Black Mirror episodes to recommend to you later down the line anyway, because there's a lot of good episodes. So.
Yeah, let's try to not take I think it's been more than a month since we recorded one of these.
If we can do that episode idea I had that I'm not going to spoil, but if we can do that with getting the people together, we can do that and have a cool little filler episode.
Maybe next episode we talk about these movies and we do that.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll try to gather some people. You see what you can do, and we'll just try to get a date set.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's going to be a lot of guests. That's going to be like a crossover event.
That's going to be a big thing. At least 4 people at minimum. You know, we can do it.
What if it's all the fancy sins?